Guys, I really didn't want to do another podcast on the Israel Hamas thing, but we really got to just because the threat of World War III is closer than I think it's ever has been. And we were saying that it could be possible with the Ukraine Russia, but this stuff in the Middle East, guys, is no joke. They've been fighting for hundreds upon hundreds of years. So this is very concerning to say the very least. We already got Iran trying to say they're going to get involved if Israel decides to go in to Gaza and attack Hamas. And if that happens, guys, we don't want that. We already have 2,000 Marines that are off the coast of Israel waiting with ships that have all the rocket capabilities that we need to get involved, which I don't want to get involved, and nobody should want us to get involved, because if the United States get involved and Iran gets involved and Syria gets involved and then Russia gets involved, we're all screwed. All screwed. All right, guys. So we got to stay on top of it. But hey, welcome to Getting to the Facts. I'm your host, Andrew Curiel. You already know what it is, guys. Hey, we're at a solid 120 subscribers. So I appreciate you guys. We're going to keep the ball rolling. Let's get into this first thing here. And this is from the New York Times. We have our old ass president, old as dirt, okay? Barely even senile. And he's going to Israel right now. Probably the worst idea in the world, but let's see what they got to say from the New York Times. Mr. Biden's visit is an extraordinary show of support to Israel in the midst of war, akin to Mr. Biden's brief trip to Ukraine in February to shore up international support for President Volodymyr Zelensky. And just as Mr. Biden's trip to Kiev came as Ukraine was on the cusp of a major military operation, the visit to Jerusalem comes as hundreds of thousands of Israeli troops are poised to fight their way through the jammed urban landscape of Gaza to carry out Mr. Netanyahu's vow to eliminate Hamas. The security risk of such a trip was clear on Monday when sirens warning of incoming rockets or missiles went off while Mr. Blinken was in Israel for his second visit in a week. Was meeting at a military base with Mr. Netanyahu and his war cabinet. Mr. Blinken and his hosts were rushed to a bunker and sheltered there for 5 minutes before resuming their discussions. But the physical risk in Tel Aviv was considered low enough, Mr. Kirby said, that it was deemed appropriate that we can talk about it beforehand. The trip to Kiev, where there were no American forces present to back up the Secret Service, was kept secret. Mr. Biden has often said he feels very comfortable in Israel, as was evident during his one visit as president in July 2022. Mr. Netanyahu was out of power at the time, which was fine with Mr. Biden's team. And let's scroll down here. Now, though, Mr. Netanyahu is at the head of the unity government that has come together specifically to prosecute the war, combining with former defense minister Benny Gantz and his centrist party. Mr. Biden's aides are hoping that the central role for Mr. Gantz, a former general who served in the Israel Defense Force for 38 years, will change the dynamic of their discussion. But Mr. Gantz campaigned against Mr. Netanyahu in 2019 by portraying himself as a hardliner, boasting that when he was chief of staff, the top military post, parts of Gaza were sent back to the Stone Age. He was also accused of unnecessary civilian casualties. So, guys, just right there, real quick. This guy from the centrist party, Mr. Gantz, okay, it does not seem he is for cooling down this whole thing. He wants to level Gaza just as much as Netanyahu does. And I don't know if they really want to level Gaza itself, but they want to level Hamas. They want to completely wipe out Hamas, which everybody should want that. Even the people that are pro-Palestinian. Like, I am pro-Palestinian civilians. It is not about Palestinians as a whole. This is about Hamas, who has controlled the Gaza Strip since 2007. Okay? They are the ones that are controlling the governing body that is in control of Gaza, in control of the civilians in that area. Like, they are making it impossible for there to be any type of reprieve and any type of peace to even get to a point of talking with Israel to form statehood. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, Hamas is holding the Palestinians in Gaza back from actually getting statehood and not being in this I guess, fenced in area. Like, do they have ways to get out? Yeah, there's the Rafah crossing going into Egypt, but Egypt's cutting it off. Egypt's saying, no, we don't want them. And I do understand, because it's just going to make it harder on their economy to help in that humanitarian way with having a whole bunch of people come in. But at the very least, we should be getting out the kids. And I would even say the women. Get the kids and the women out. If you're under 12 years old, get them out. They should be able to go to Egypt. They should be able to go to Lebanon. Like, I don't understand why they can't. Get them out at the very minimum, right? But it's getting crazy, guys. It really is. So we're going to go back here to that article. The political risks for Mr. Biden are difficult to measure. In his first significant public effort to urge caution on Israel, Mr. Biden warned on 60 Minutes on Sunday that I think it'd be a big mistake for Israel to occupy Gaza again, a step Israeli officials say they have no intention of taking, but they have not explained who would run the Gaza Strip in the absence of Hamas, or how they could keep a similar group from arising from the ashes of Gaza City. That's definitely true. He also cautioned that there needs to be a Palestinian Authority. True. There needs to be a path to a Palestinian state. Completely agree. He and others in the administration are repeating with increasing frequency that most Palestinians in Gaza do not support Hamas, which has controlled the slice of land now for more than 16 years. And guys, that's true. I mean, it's just like people in this country. I didn't vote for Biden. I didn't vote for his policies and what he's doing in this country. But I would hate for someone to just completely wipe out the United States just because of the Biden administration, or vice versa with Trump, whatever way you go. You know what I mean? Like, that is completely understandable. Not every Palestinian in Gaza. I'd be shocked if even half of the Palestinians in Gaza were in support of Hamas. Hamas is an authoritarian, militant terrorist group. Okay. They hold all of the weaponry. There is no civilians that have any guns or anything to protect themselves. Another reason why I so much value our Second Amendment in the United States. Okay. And we all need to value that, especially after seeing this. Like, it is just nuts, guys. Oh, man. And then we go here. Israeli officials are offering assurances that they will work to limit the number of civilian deaths. They blame Hamas for telling Gazans to stay in place rather than comply with Israeli warnings to evacuate to the south, where Israel is already attacking with missiles. But several American officials have noted that the reservists called back into service by Israel largely have little training in urban warfare and are likely to shoot at anything that moves. I mean, yeah, they pulled them up the reserves. It just makes it makes this, if they go into Gaza, if they do a ground invasion in Gaza and go after Hamas, this is going to have civilian casualties. There is enough there's 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza. Even if 20% support Hamas, 20% of a million, guys, that's a lot of people that are going to fight back and are going to cause problems for the Israeli forces going in there trying to get Hamas. Okay, that we're going to have civilian casualties, a lot of them. And that's just from the people that are fighting or staying in their spot and listening to Hamas instead of evacuating and getting out of there. Okay, the sooner they're able to get in there and get this done, the better for the civilians. I personally think, but I also think that if they do go in there, we are, I mean, based on what Iran is saying, guys, we are going to be in World War III. And we don't want to see the price of everything when World War III actually does start. So let's pray to God, or whatever God that you pray to, that does not happen. Okay. Let's see right down here. Biden believes he has the moral authority here, said Thomas R. Nides, who served as Mr. Biden's ambassador to Israel until he resigned over the summer. He has stood up for the state of Israel. He believes they are right to be dismantling Hamas, but he wants to show he stands for humanity too. I mean, yeah, I completely get that. The thing is we go to this new article on the Daily Beast, Iran threatens to drag U.S. into regional holy war. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on Tuesday called for an immediate end to Israel's attacks on Gaza and vowed that Muslims would retaliate if the bombardment continues. A post on Khamenei's X account also singled out the U.S. for its role in the aftermath of the deadly Hamas incursion into Israel. U.S. officials were present at Israeli war cabinet meetings Monday, and President Biden will arrive later this week at Jerusalem plots a land invasion of the Gaza Strip. Our numerous intelligence reports show that the U.S. formulating the Zionist regime's current policy and what is being done is governed by U.S. policymaking, read the post on X, formerly known as Twitter. The U.S. must be held responsible for this situation. Speaking to a group of students in Tehran, Khamenei said, "We must respond. We must react to what is happening in Gaza." Students also chanting death to Israel as Khamenei denounced Israel's genocide of Palestinians in Gaza, according to Reuters. No one can confront Muslims and the resistance forces if the Zionist regime's Israel crimes against Palestinians continue. The bombardment of Gaza must stop immediately. And I completely understand where they're coming from with that, but I don't at the same time. They're the ones that did a surprise attack on Israel, targeting civilians, guys. I mean, we're going to watch a short clip here of the Iron Dome in works, and I'm going to see if I can find this other one that I was showing, or that showed two Hamas soldiers trying to sneak into a suburb area, and there's a gate, like they can't get in, so there's a gate. They see a car coming in, and they wait till the car pulls up and opens the gate, kill both of the people in the car, just random civilians, and then try to go in and kill more people in there. I mean, guys, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to watch this stuff. But this is dangerous. This right here, guys, is what I'm talking about. World War III is on the brink if Iran gets involved. If Iran gets involved, all hell's breaking loose. There's no way. And then there's no way that we can afford to keep giving money to Ukraine if we're having to support this whole Israel thing and actually have boots in the ground in the Israel. I just don't get it, guys. I mean, it seems like the powers that be outside of the United States want the United States in as many conflicts across the world as possible because they are trying to weaken our stance and make us to where we can't fully apply pressure in the conflict that we want to apply pressure in. And I'm worried, me personally, I don't have any evidence on this, but based on the dominoes that are falling, I'm more worried that China is just like, ooh, we just need one more. We just need them to get into one more conflict. And then we're good. Taiwan's ours. And that's a big problem because, guys, that's too many conflicts that are going on. I mean, and it's just crazy. To think that we had no new wars under Trump. We had nothing like this going on, guys. And now, all because we didn't like some mean tweets, we got this going on now, where we're involved in almost 3 different conflicts. One that is costing us over 150 billion and counting, and then one where we're possibly going to start World War III off some Palestinian-Israel stuff that has been going on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, oh, guys, it's just nuts. So let's see this little short clip here of the Iron Dome, guys. This was cool. All right. I've never seen videos of the Iron Dome actually working. Like, actually, you're seeing rockets come over and then they're dispersing. I thought that was pretty cool. So I want to show you guys this. So let's check this out.
Now we're hearing it again. So Jose,
massacre.
stay with us. There's
Please,
one.
go back to Richard.
There is a rocket. You can see it streaking in the sky right now. Turning. There's another.
Keeps coming
This is
in,
being launched
and
from
you
a
keep seeing
different
more of
site.
them, keeps getting deflected. Boom.
So
Blowing
now
up.
you'll start to see the Iron Dome system taking them off.
Guys, that is nuts. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, it's just an invisible force field.
Again,
Like-
many rockets, many interceptions.
Wow.
Not much damage. No damage.
Wow.
Now we're hearing it again.
And then let me see if I can find that other one about the Hamas. I don't know that. Oh, here he is. Look at this, guys. This is nuts. See, they're trying to get into the suburb area. Guys, like, imagine this is how you die. You're just trying to get to your house. Just trying to get to your house. That's just crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. So it's just, again, I'm not saying Israel is completely in the right for how hard they're hitting Gaza and flattening everything. But this would have never happened. Would have never happened if Hamas didn't attack Israel. And not just attack Israel. They didn't go after military targets. They targeted civilians. They targeted civilians. I just don't understand how you can be on the side, and it's not being against Palestinians. Again, it's not about being against Palestinians. It is about being against Hamas. Like, this is crazy. Like, how can we not all be on the same page with this? This is not a right or left thing. Like, if you target civilians, you are a terrorist. Israel is having to hit civilians to get to Hamas because of where they put their logistics and they put their headquarters. They have it all intertwined in civilian buildings, and they do it on purpose. And that is why they told their own civilians to stay in their homes. They're using them as bait so that way the rest of the world sees how many civilians Israel killed. It's just, it's smart, but that's how terrorists work. They don't care about the population. They don't care about the civilians that they have control of their lives in. Like, they just don't care about them. They care about power. They care about wanting to get their land back from Israel. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. I mean, when you're in war, you're in war. But targeting, not just hitting civilians. They target them, as you saw on that short clip. So again, guys, we just got to be aware of it, just aware of what's going on. Hopefully this does not escalate into World War III, because I'm telling you guys, we already got like $4 or $5 a gallon gas. With groceries are like 50% higher than they were last year. We don't need them going up any higher. Okay, so we got to be aware of it. We got to put pressure on our politicians to not go into war with Iran. This is not what the American people want. We do not want that. Okay, we want this to stop. There's too many kids, too many women, just too many civilians in general that are getting obliterated in Gaza. They got killed in Israel. I mean, guys, we gotta get to a point where this stops. We got to. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys like the topic too. Again, just wanted to make sure we stay informed. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on that next video.